Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. May I invite you to stand as we recite the National Pledge of Guyana. I pledge myself to honor always the flag of Guyana and to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity of Guyana. Thank you so much, and you may be seated. Honorable Kwame McCoy, Minister with responsibility for Information, Government of Guyana, and Chair of the Local Organizing Committee. Mr. Anthony Green, President of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. Ms. Sonia Gill, Secretary General of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. Members of the Board of the CBU. Chairman and Board of Directors of NCN. Mr. Nia Suban, CBU Country Director for Guyana, Chief Executive Officer of NCN, and co-chair of the Local Organizing Committee. Members of the Local Organizing Committee, representatives of member states across the region, fellow CBU members here in Guyana, Newsroom Incorporated, and the Guyana National Broadcasting Authority, our valued sponsors and partners, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a warm welcome. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the official media launch of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 57th Annual General Assembly and the 37th CBU Media Awards. We are coming to you live from the studios of the National Communications Network here in Georgetown, Guyana, as we begin the official countdown to one of the Caribbean's premier gatherings of media professionals, broadcasters, journalists, content creators, technical experts, industry partners, and stakeholders. This year's assembly comes at a defining moment for media, both regionally and globally. Across the world, media organizations continue to navigate rapid technological change, evolving audience behavior, the emergence of artificial intelligence, and the ongoing responsibility to inform, educate, inspire, and connect our people. Today, we will hear from leaders of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, representatives of key partner organizations and sponsors, and the government of Guyana, as we officially launch AGA 57 and the 37th CBU Media Awards. And now, to deliver the welcome remarks, it is my pleasure to introduce a respected media executive whose more than 2 decades of experience in broadcast and print media have helped shape Caribbean broadcasting. He currently serves as General Manager of Starcom Network Incorporated in Barbados, overseeing the operations of one of the region's leading media organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, Mr. Anthony Green.
Honorable Kwame McCoy, Minister with responsibility for Information, Government of Guyana, Ms. Sonia Gill, Secretary General of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, members of the Board of the CBU, Niaz Suban, Head of the Local Organizing Committee, members of the Local Organizing Committee, sponsors, media partners, distinguished guests. Good morning. As President and Chair of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Board of Directors, I'm delighted to welcome you to the launch of the 57th Caribbean Broadcasting Union Annual General Assembly and the 37th CBU Media Awards, set to take place in Guyana, the land of many waters, from August 17th to 19th, 2026. This year, we gather under a theme that could not be more timely or more urgent: Caribbean media and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is no longer on the horizon. It is already reshaping how content is produced, distributed, translated, monetized, archived, and consumed. It is changing how audiences receive information, how newsrooms verify facts, and how media institutions plan for the future. For Caribbean media, the question is not whether artificial intelligence will affect us. Let's be honest, it already has. The real question is this: how do we respond in a way that protects our people, strengthens our institutions, preserves our culture, and positions Caribbean media to lead with confidence, credibility, and creativity? That is why this 57th CBU Annual General Assembly is so important. This year's assembly is the space for media leaders, broadcasters, journalists, technical professionals, policymakers, academics, development partners, and content creators to examine the opportunities and risks of artificial intelligence in a Caribbean context. We will explore innovation while examining the ethics, authenticity, trust, safety, and inclusion required of media practitioners in small developing societies, where information can quickly shape public confidence and national conversation. So here's what you can expect from this year's AGA. We kick off the opening ceremony featuring keynote speaker, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali. We are honored that UNESCO Caribbean representative Mr. Eric Fault will participate in the opening ceremony and help to frame our discussions around this year's theme, particularly in relation to UNESCO's important work with Caribbean member states on the ethical, safe, and inclusive deployment of artificial intelligence. The conference day will further deepen the conversation with the Honorable Kwame McCoy, Minister with responsibility for information and public affairs in the Office of the Prime Minister of Guyana, delivering the keynote address. You will also hear from a strong slate of presenters, including the Honorable E.J. Saunders, Minister of Innovation, Technology and Energy of the Turks and Caicos Islands Government, and Mr. Embert Charles, President of the World Association for Christian Communication, who will speak on the important topic AI and authenticity, covering Caribbean culture. In an age when images can be manufactured, voices can be cloned, and stories can be distorted at speed, Caribbean media must remain a trusted public space. We must ensure that our languages, accents, histories, communities, and creative expressions are not flattened, misrepresented, or erased by technologies that were not designed with us in mind. At the same time, we must not approach AI with fear, because used responsibly, it can help Caribbean media houses become more efficient, expand audience reach, improve accessibility, support disaster preparedness, strengthen archives, and create new possibilities for content delivery and regional collaboration. Technology will also be a key focus of the Assembly, with Eutelsat hosting a workshop for senior broadcast engineers and technical officers on expanding reach, strengthening resilience, supporting emergency communications, and creating new opportunities for connectivity. This year, the CBU Media Hall of Fame will induct two outstanding Caribbean figures, the late journalist, Mr. Ricky Singh, and the late media and communications academic, Professor Aubrey Brown. Their careers remind us that Caribbean media has always been shaped by courage, intellect, public service, cultural consciousness, and a deep commitment to the people of this region. Their induction will take place during the opening ceremony with extended presentations on their life, work, and impact during the conference day. Mr. Singh's presentation will be delivered by Caribbean journalist and media trainer, Mr. Wesley Gibbings, while Professor Aubrey Brown's presentation will be delivered by Dr. Patrick Prendergast, Director of the Caribbean School of Media and Communication at the University of the West Indies. The 57th CBU Annual General Assembly will therefore be more than a meeting. It will be a regional conversation about the future of media, the future of technology, and the future, Caribbean storytelling, all while grappling with the possibilities of artificial intelligence. We invite our members, partners, sponsors, policymakers, media professionals, and all those with an interest in communication, innovation, and Caribbean development to be a part of this important gathering. Registration for the 57th CBU Annual General Assembly is now open, and delegates are encouraged to confirm their participation by visiting caribroadcastunion.org/AGA 57. This year's assembly will be held from August 17th to 19th in Georgetown, Guyana, with accommodation available at Pegasus Suites, Georgetown, as we prepare for this year's assembly. We look forward to a robust discussion, practical collaboration, new partnerships, and a renewed commitment to ensuring that Caribbean media does not simply adapt to the age of AI, but helps shape it in the public interest. See you in Georgetown.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anthony Green, President of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, for those inspiring remarks and, of course, for setting the tone for this year's Assembly and Media Awards. Of course, make sure to head to that website, caribroadcastunion.org. We want to mention or reiterate a very warm welcome to Mr. Raymond Cummings, our chairman, and of course, the board members who are joining us today. The CBU Media Awards remain one of the region's most respected platforms for recognizing excellence in Caribbean journalism, storytelling, production, and public service broadcasting. To provide an overview of this year's awards, categories, and opportunities, we now welcome the Secretary General of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. She brings extensive experience as a broadcast journalist and producer with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, along with experience in regulation and media policy through the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica. Here is Ms. Sonia Gill.
Honorable Minister McCoy, representatives of CBU partners for the awards and the Assembly, CBU President Mr. Anthony Green, Chair of the Local Organizing Committee Mr. Niaz Suban, and those of you joining this event on broadcast or digital screens. It is my pleasure to announce the nominees for the 37th CBU Media Awards. 2026 has once again been a record-breaking year, with the CBU receiving 683 entries for 63 categories from a total of 41 organizations and individuals representing 16 countries and territories in the Dutch, English, French, and Spanish Caribbean. That's an increase in entries of 25%, an increase in entrants of 25%, and an increase in participating countries and territories of 31% compared to last year. The CBU is supported in making the region's premier media competition a reality by partners from around the Caribbean who identify and support special topics for some categories. These category sponsors not only provide funding towards awards, but also help to ensure its relevance. Once again, we're proud to partner with returning sponsors, the Caribbean Culture Fund, underwriting 4 categories in excellence in media coverage of arts and culture. UNICEF Belize supporting 3 child rights champion categories: investigative reporting, elimination of violence against children, and children who inspire. The Nature Conservancy Caribbean Division, which shines a spotlight on excellence in environmental reporting covering mangroves and seagrass, as well as coral reefs. The Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management, supporting the categories Best Productions on Land Degradation Neutrality, as well as Sagicor, sponsor of two themed categories: financial literacy journalism and health education journalism. And CBU is happy to welcome three new category sponsors: the UN Sub-Regional Team for Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean, sponsoring the SDG Champion categories; UNICEF Eastern Caribbean Area Office, supporting the categories Best Items on a Child Rights Issue; and Massey Caribbean, backing four categories in the People's Choice Awards: Best Educational Newsreel and Best News and Current Affairs Reel, as well as the Production Awards for Best Investigative Item Print and Best News Story Digital. This year's awards welcomed a brand new area of media practice. For the first time, CBU invited entrants to demonstrate their skills in still photography. The two production categories were sports and news photography. Another innovation in this year's competition was directed to the next generation of media practitioners. The CBU introduced categories specifically for students of media and communications in Caribbean post-secondary and tertiary institutions. Whether simply pursuing a certificate for a short course or registered for a 3-year degree program, students were eligible to enter categories in radio, television, print, digital media, and photography. So now, it's time to tell you whose names might be flashed on screen during the awards gala in Georgetown on August 19. By the end of the screening for eligibility, the organization that led the pack with 93 nominated entries was Greater Belize Media. For the second year running, it topped the RGR Gleaner Communications Group from Jamaica, which recorded a very strong 78 nominations for its TV, radio, digital, and print services. However, overall, Jamaica was once again the leading jurisdiction with 105 nominated entries from 7 entities. Along with the RGR Gleaner Group were the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, PBCJ, with 13 nominations, and IRI FM with 2. And after many years out of the competition, CVM TV added its name to the roster with 8 nominations. This year, the awards welcomed 3 new entrants from Jamaica: the Jamaica Information Service, as well as 2 educational institutions, the University of Technology and the University of the West Indies Mona campus. In second place overall was Trinidad and Tobago with 102 nominees. It delivered the largest number of entering organizations and individuals, 8 in total, including 2 brand new participants: Andrea da Silva with 7 nominations and Carnival Catwalk with 2. The Guardian Media Group contributed the most for that country from CNC3 TV, Guardian Newspaper, and Radio. 33 nominations. It was followed closely by the Express Newspaper and CCN TV6, both from the One Caribbean Media Group, with 31 print and television nominations. Next in line from the Twin Island state was national broadcaster TTT Limited with 14 nominations. And we were particularly pleased to see Trinidad Newsday, which, although it closed operations early this year, still participated in the awards and has 10 entries recognized as nominees. Overall top nominee, Greater Belize Media, was accompanied by the National Channel with 2 nominated entries for a total of 95 from Belize. This was exactly the same as the number of nominees from last year's host, Barbados, which had 7 media organizations. The Nation Publishing Company surged to the lead of the Barbadian pack with 37 nominations, followed by the Barbados Government Information Service with 22 and e-paper Barbados Today with 12 on the list. There were 3 new entrants who made it to the 37th CMA roster. Plan A Productions with 3, the Barbados Community College with 4, and radio service Capital Media HD 99.3 with 11. As this year's host, Guyana is showing it hasn't come to play. It set a national record in nominations, 37 from 3 media houses. Leading was our host broadcaster for the Assembly, National Communications Network, NCN, with 19 nominations, followed by Newsroom Inc. with 15, and state print outlet The Guyana Chronicle with 3. The French-speaking Caribbean made a strong return to the awards competition after about a decade away. Brand new CBU member, digital publisher Richez Caraïbe demonstrated excellence with 32 nominations. The Cayman Islands has returned to the competition with a bang, also represented by 2 brand new members. Compass TV made a particularly strong showing, resulting in 31 nominations, while the other newly minted member, Cayman Islands Government Department of Communications, also squeaked under the line with 1 added to the list. From the Dutch Caribbean, Surinamese CBU member ATV Telesur with 6 nominations was accompanied by e-publication Star News, which garnered 3 on its first appearance in the competition. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has also stepped up with 8 nominations in total. CBU member NBC has copped 5, and first-time entrant API is showing its competitiveness with 3. The Spanish-speaking countries are well represented. Teleislas from San Andres Island, Colombia, has 7 nominations, and the CBU welcomes the continued participation by longtime member ECS from Cuba with 7 nominations. New to the competition but making a strong showing on its first outing is e-paper St. Lucia Times with 6 nominations. Antigua and Barbuda's 2 entrants together delivered 5 nominations. JC Hillhouse captured 4 and ABS TV 1. St. Kitts and Nevis is represented twice on the list by a non-traditional content creator, Elaine's Caribbean Crochet. And state broadcaster of the Bahamas, ZNS, has returned to the competition after a few years away with 2 nominations. Finally, first-timer from the British Virgin Islands, the BVI Beacon, is in with 1 nomination. And so, we want to see you there. And to assist those who want to attend the awards gala in person, the conference registration fee, once again, will be waived for all nominees. To take up the offer, contact CBU Media Awards at caribroadcastunion.org and request the discount code to be used on the registration site. So, for the complete list of nominees and info on how to register, go to the CBU website www.caribroadcastunion.org. The anticipation is building towards August 19, when the homegrown world-class excellence that is Caribbean media will be on display. Let me say once again, sincere thanks to all of our sponsors and wish the very best to each and every nominee in the 37th CBU Media Awards.
The anticipation is certainly building. Thank you, Secretary General Sonia Gill, for that insightful overview of the 37th CBU Media Awards and for highlighting the continued excellence of Caribbean media professionals across the region. We now turn our attention to the valued partners and sponsors whose support continues to strengthen the work of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and the wider regional media landscape. Our first sponsor presentation comes from the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management, an organization supporting greater media attention to one of the region's most urgent development priorities: sustainable land use and environmental resilience. Please welcome Dr. Ronan Francis, Executive Director of the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management.
Distinguished guests, nominees, and media professionals of the Caribbean. Stories have power. The right story told well can change how society understands the ground beneath its feet. Across the Caribbean, we are blessed with extraordinary landscapes, rich in ecosystems, fertile soils, and communities deeply connected to the land. But across our small island developing states, that land is under increasing pressure. Limited space, competing demands, climate stress, and land degradation. These pressures are eroding not only our soils, but our food security, water security, and long-term resilience. These are urgent challenges, and they require urgent, compelling voices. That is why the Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management, the Caribbean's only indigenous intergovernmental organization focused on land degradation and sustainable land management, is proud to continue its sponsorship of the CBU Media Awards. We do not see the media as observers. We see you as partners, because these stories you tell shape the decisions that shape our land. Journalists, editors, videographers, and content creators across this region do something no technical report can fully achieve. You make these stories human. You show land degradation not as an abstract concept, but as lived reality. And you show communities not only as vulnerable, but as resilient and capable of restoration. This is not secondary to our work. It is essential to it. That is why PSLM is proud to support 2 award categories: Best Television Production on Land Degradation Neutrality and Best Digital Production on Land Degradation Neutrality. These awards reflect a shared commitment to land degradation, the principle that any land loss must be matched and ultimately exceeded by land restored. Achieving this across our region depends on 3 things: awareness, advocacy, and accountability. All 3 depends on media. This work is directly aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 15, Life on Land, and the global effort to halt and reverse land degradation. Through the Caribbean SID Soil Care Program, funded by the Global Environmental Facility and implemented with FAO's support across 14 Caribbean countries, we are already taking action, restoring degraded lands and advancing sustainable land management across the region. This is not theory. It is implementation on the ground, and your storytelling ensures that this work is seen, understood, and supported. To all nominees and participants, what you're doing matters. You are not just producing content. You are shaping public will. You are strengthening the foundation of sustainable land management in the Caribbean. So keep going. Keep telling the stories others overlook. And keep bringing visibility to the land that sustains us. The health of our land and the strength of our stories are inseparable. PSLM is committed to both. We congratulate all nominees for the quality and courage of your work, and we look forward to celebrating the very best of Caribbean environmental storytelling.
Thank you, Dr. Ronan Francis, for those remarks and for supporting initiatives that promote environmental sustainability and responsible development across the Caribbean. We now hear from another valued partner, the Caribbean Culture Fund, which continues to champion excellence in media coverage of Caribbean arts, culture, and creative industries. Please welcome Ms. Kelly Magnus, Executive Director of the Caribbean Culture Fund.
Presidents and executives of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, media colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The Caribbean Culture Fund is thrilled to join our media partners in the launch of the 57th CBU AGA and announcement of 37th Annual Media Awards. This summer marks an important milestone for the Caribbean Culture Fund. In the last 2 years, we have worked our way around the Caribbean, awarding grants through targeted calls for proposals. We have now completed distribution across all countries in the region, awarding more than 100 grants, the most recent of which will be announced shortly. In that time, we have seen the diversity and brilliance in the work of creatives and cultural organizations across the region, not just in the 100 applications we have funded, but in the nearly 1,000 we have received. We know that our funds merely scratch the surface in meeting the need. And so we are grateful for the support of our partners, the CBU and its members, in using their media platforms to amplify their work. This is why we are so delighted that in this year, the second year of these awards, we have received almost 30% more entries than last year, from 48 to 61. Congratulations and thanks to all of you who have entered. And whoever wins, please know that you are all helping us to affirm that arts and culture matter. We urge all of you listening and watching today, whether you work for mainstream media or you're an independent blogger or just somebody with a social media platform, please join us in telling these vital stories. We've got almost 1,000 worth telling, and we need your voices. To our host country this year, Guyana, we are so excited by the 3 projects we have funded that are currently underway. Our grantees are capturing the stories of elders in the Rupununi region, using digital technology to archive traditional Arawak baboon dances, and restoring over 100 hours of recordings from Georgetown's Sidewalk Jazz Club. We know that these creatives, the 13 other applications we received, and the 45 arts and culture organizations in our network are a small sample of your rich and diverse culture. And we look forward to exploring other collaborations. To all of you, please follow the CCF's work via our social media platforms. Visit our website, caribbeanculturefund.org, and sign up for our newsletter. We are always open to collaborations to support this important work of making sure creatives and cultural organizations have the funding they need. Thank you again to the CBU for our continued partnership, and congratulations to all this morning's nominees.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kelly Magnus. And indeed, the work of Caribbean artists, creatives, and cultural practitioners deserves informed, visible, and sustained media coverage. And we're certainly grateful to the Caribbean Culture Fund for supporting that mission. We now turn to the UNICEF Office for Guyana and Suriname. UNICEF's partnership continues to help strengthen reporting on children's rights, child protection, and the lived experiences of children and young people across this region. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Priya Hirasingh, Program Manager AI Acting, UNICEF Office for Guyana and Suriname.
All protocols observed. A very good morning to everyone. Very pleased and honored to be here today at the media launch of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and the Media Awards ceremony. At UNICEF across the Caribbean and beyond, promoting and safeguarding children's rights is at the heart of what we do. It guides our work and our commitment to ensuring that every child can grow up safe, healthy, and able to fulfill their potential. And the role of media practitioners in this critical endeavor, working to ensure that our children enjoy safe, rich, and fulfilling lives, is clear. The media can use its power and influence to help build communities and societies where children are free from violence and where they are healthy, happy, and well-equipped for the future they choose for themselves, and where they can follow educational pathways that truly meet their needs. The media can act as champions for children, ensuring that their rights remain central to the public agenda and that they are afforded the space to explore issues that affect them, their needs, and their aspirations, and to tell their stories in their own words. Through broadcast, online, and print publication, the Fourth Estate can reinforce the four fundamental principles of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child: non-discrimination, the best interest of the child, survival, development, and protection and participation. Across Guyana, Suriname, and the wider Caribbean, UNICEF works alongside governments, civil society, communities, families, young people, and of course, you, the media, to advance these rights and create lasting positive change. Yet, meaningful progress requires informed public dialogue, and this is where the media plays an indispensable role. By highlighting both the challenges children face and the solutions that are making a difference, media professionals help to build understand, accountability, and collective action. Importantly, children and young people are not merely subjects of stories. They are rights holders, innovators, advocates, and agents of change. Their voices, perspectives, and experiences observed to be heard, respected, and amplified. Through responsible and ethical reporting, the media can help ensure that children are not only seen through the lens of vulnerability, but also through their resilience, their talents, and aspirations for the future. The media can help bring greater attention to children, their rights, and encourage meaningful discussion across the region. These conversations are important. Children's rights are fundamental, but they can sometimes involve complex and sometimes sensitive issues that challenge long-held perceptions or cultural norms. This makes informed, balanced, and thoughtful reporting all the more essential. We are pleased to support this year's Caribbean Media Awards through the sponsorship of dedicated categories by the UNICEF Office for the Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, in collaboration with UNICEF Belize. The entries received are insightful, compelling, and inspiring, reflecting a strong commitment to highlighting issues that matter to children and young people. Their quality and diversity will surely make the judges' task a challenging one. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, our partners in this initiative, for a rich and fruitful collaboration. I wish all the entrants the very best of luck, and I look forward to seeing who will be honored at the Gala Awards ceremony in August. Through responsible journalism and powerful storytelling, let us continue to shine a light on children's rights and inspire positive change across our region. I thank you.
Have to start teaching both males and females, but also the young men, how to resolve conflict in positive ways.
We are striving to be the #1 education system in the world. And we can be, but we cannot do it alone.
Thank you to Ms. Hira Singh, and thank you to the UNICEF Office for Guyana and Suriname for your continued commitment to ensuring that children's voices and issues affecting young people remain visible within regional media. We now invite remarks from the United Nations Sub-Regional Team for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, which supports the SDG champion categories and encourages stronger media engagement around sustainable development across the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Simon Springett, Resident Coordinator of the United Nations Sub-Regional Team for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean.
It's a real pleasure to join you for the launch of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 57th Annual General Assembly and the 37th Caribbean Media Awards. Let me first start by congratulating the CBU for its unwavering commitment to media excellence. For over 3 decades, you have helped shape stronger journalism and richer storytelling across the Caribbean. To all the media professionals, your work matters. Every story you tell helps inform, connect, and uplift our communities. I'm especially pleased that the United Nations is partnering with the CBU this year to introduce the SDG Champion Award. This award is not just about excellence, it's about influence, and it's a call to action. This award recognizes the power of Caribbean journalism to bring the Sustainable Development Goals to life, to make them real, relevant, and relatable to people's everyday experiences, recognizing stories that show how this region is tackling global challenges with local solutions. Let us continue to innovate, to collaborate, and to inspire. I wish the Caribbean Broadcasting Union every success with this year's Media Awards.
Thank you, Mr. Springett. The Sustainable Development Goals are deeply connected to the everyday lives of Caribbean people, and the media continue to play a critical role in helping audiences better understand these priorities. At this time, we hear from Eutelsat, a global leader in satellite communications and media connectivity. Please help me welcome the Sales Director of Media for Latin America and the Caribbean, Mr. Guillermo Haller.
Hello, my name is Guillermo Haller, Sales Director for Media Latin America and the Caribbean. On behalf of Eutelsat, I'd like to sincerely thank the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, its leadership, and all its members for the invitation to be part of this year's annual General Assembly. It is a true honor for us to join this important gathering of broadcasters, media organizations, regulators, and technology leaders from across the region. For Eutelsat, being part of the CBU is highly meaningful because the Caribbean is a region where media, connectivity, and resilience play a critical role. Broadcasters are not only delivering entertainment and information, they are connecting communities, supporting education, enabling access to the culture, and providing essential communications during moments of crisis. At Eutelsat, we believe satellite has an important role to play in supporting that mission. Through our combined GEO and LEO satellites, we are helping media and connectivity players reach more audiences. In particular, our LEO infrastructure can support professional video contribution, news gathering, live events, and disaster recovery scenarios, especially in locations where terrestrial infrastructure may be limited, unavailable, or affected by this type of emergencies. At the same time, our premium GEO satellite neighborhood continue to support reliable content distribution, helping you deliver signals efficiently and securely through the audiences that depends on them. As part of this year's event, we are pleased to host a 3-hour Eutelsat Solution Workshop, where we will introduce you to our company, share our visions for the Caribbean, and present innovative solutions for both video and connectivity services. Our goal is to create a practical conversation around the challenges and opportunities facing the Caribbean broadcasters today, and how Eutelsat can prepare you for the future. Once again, we are honored to be part of the CBU General Assembly this year, and we also want to extend our early congratulations to all those nominated for this year's CBU Media Awards. To the nominees and winners, you have all our support, all our recognition. Your work represents the strength, creativity, and importance for the Caribbean media, and we are proud to celebrate them with you. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you at the event.
Thank you to Mr. Guillermo Haller and to Utelsat for supporting innovation and connectivity within the global media and broadcasting landscape. Now we continue this morning's launch, but we pause for a cultural presentation. Culture remains at the heart of the Caribbean identity. It is how we preserve our heritage, celebrate our creativity, and share our stories with the world. Please help me welcome a young woman whose talent and stage presence continue to captivate audiences across Guyana and beyond. She is a recording artist and lead vocalist with the Heatwave Band. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Nikita.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. We are feeling good this morning. Let's loosen up a bit, shall we? Yeah. I can't believe it. I traveled overland and overseas. I never seen no one like you, yeah. What I mean is, you stole my heart from the day I met you. Oh gosh, can't get over you, no. When they ask me, yeah, where you're from, you look so appealing. So much, yeah. That's when I say, I'm from the land that could give you the healing. Who is sweet medicine? Don't believe me, take a trip in the markets. Anything you want, you could find it right there. Don't worry about skin. Any town round about, got your space. Don't mind the black water, take a sip, take a dip after. We gon' give you all the adventure. You want it, you can find it right there. In the beautiful country, Guyana, my home, we home, you home, yours, right there. Come on, right there. Let's believe it. No other place in this world can so divine. No, you cannot find it. So pristine, and I can tell you we got the most beautiful women in the world. Where you can't find me, out on the road or down by the river. And when we never say, I'm coming over to borrow sugar, it is we culture. But let me tell you, take a trip in the markets. Anything you want, you can find it right there. You'd even baskets. Any town wrong about got your space. Don't mind the black water. Take a sip, take a dip after. I see the hand of the bag there. Come on, you want it, you can find it right there. Let me see some hands. We're feeling good this morning. Right there. Give me a wave, give me a wave. Hey, we right there. That's right, I see it. Right there. And in case you're wondering, we got bacchanal festivals, sights to see, and the best chicken curry you'll ever have in your life. Tell them I said so. Don't worry, you can find it right there. Hey, hey, here right there. Hey, hey, we're right there. And in August we're gonna be having an even better time. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nikita. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Do enjoy.
Thank you, Nikita, for that outstanding performance. Truly one of Guyana's exceptional talents. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the feature address. It is my distinct honor to introduce a distinguished public servant who serves as minister within the office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs and public information and communication, and who also chairs the local organizing committee. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Kwame McCoy, Minister with responsibility for Information, Government of Guyana.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. To the President and executives of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, Chairman and Board of Directors of the National Communications Network, the CEO and other management officials and staff of the National Communications Network, corporate leaders and sponsors of the CBU Annual General Assembly of 2006, our loyal Caribbean audience, permit me this morning first to extend a warm welcome and greetings on behalf of the people and government of Guyana. Today indeed marks an important milestone. It is with great pride and a deep sense of responsibility that Guyana formally launches its hosting of the 57th Annual General Assembly of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and the 37th CBU Media Awards, to be held from the 17th to the 19th of August in our beautiful Guyana under a timely and very compelling theme, Caribbean Media and Artificial Intelligence. Guyana is honored to welcome the Caribbean media family at this defining moment in our history, our region's history. While the CBU has successfully convened this distinguished assembly for 57 years, of course, I was a little boy at the very Guyana Broadcasting Corporation when CBU existed as well. This year's gathering comes at a uniquely consequential moment for our region and may well prove to be among the most impactful in its illustrious history. It is a gathering taking place at a time when the world is changing at a pace and at a scale few could have anticipated. Artificial intelligence is reshaping industries, transforming how information is created and consumed, redefining labor markets, and challenging long-held assumptions about truth, trust, and accountability. Simultaneously, geopolitical realities are shifting. Global economic norms are evolving. New centers of influence are emerging. And societies everywhere are grappling with how to remain competitive, resilient, and united in an increasingly uncertain and technologically driven world. For small states, including those of the Caribbean, these developments present both extraordinary opportunities and profound challenges. How do we harness innovation while protecting the integrity of our information ecosystem? How do we embrace AI without compromising ethics, transparency, and the human responsibility? How do we ensure that Caribbean voices, Caribbean stories, and Caribbean values remain visible and influential in an era increasingly shaped by algorithms and global platforms? At the face of value, these may seem like abstract questions, but fundamentally, they are urgent considerations that demand thoughtful dialogue, practical cooperation, and bold yet responsible leadership. It is therefore fitting that the Caribbean Broadcasting Union has chosen this theme, and equally fitting that these conversations will take place here in Guyana, because Guyana itself is undergoing one of the most profound national transformation in its history. Our country is pursuing an ambitious and comprehensive development agenda aimed at improving the quality of life of every citizen while positioning our country as a modern, resilient, and globally connected nation. We are investing heavily in strengthening the professional ecosystem for the Guyanese media fraternity, including through robust, cost-free upskilling opportunities for practitioners and newcomers alike. Our National Media and Communications Academy continues to equip cohort after cohort with industry-based knowledge and hands-on practical skills. Our government has instituted free tertiary education at the University of Guyana and wide-ranging international online scholarship opportunities through the Guyana Online Academy of Learning, ensuring that our citizens are equipped not only to participate in the economy of today, but to shape our economy for the future. We are actively chartering a course for the realization of national digitization of the public service to improve efficiency, accessibility, and transparency. We are advancing universal, state-of-the-art healthcare systems designed to ensure that quality healthcare reaches every community. We are transforming education through universal access, smart technologies, and innovation, preparing our young people for today's economy and for the economy of the future. We are strengthening food security and energy security. We are expanding regional and international connectivity through major investments in infrastructure and transportation. We continue to demonstrate global leadership in climate action, sustainable development, and biodiversity preservation, proving the economic advancement and environmental stewardship can and must coexist. These priorities are not isolated initiatives. They are part of a broader national vision, a vision of a Guyana that is modern, inclusive, innovative, and prepared to engage confidently with the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. It is from the dynamic position of confidence that Guyana welcomes the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. We do not claim to have all the answers. Rather, we are confident that at this important juncture in our shared history, many of the answers to the issues confronting our region will emerge through partnership, dialogue, and collective action. The conversations that will unfold in August will no doubt be rich, sometimes challenging, and always necessary. They will require us to examine difficult questions about regulation, ethics, media sustainability, misinformation, technological adaptation, and the evolving role of journalists and broadcasters in our society. But I'm confident that the Caribbean media practitioners have shied away from the difficult conversations. I've never shied away, from the difficult conversations that must be had among us in the Caribbean. Indeed, the history of the Caribbean media is one of resilience, creativity, and adaptation. Our media institutions have weathered political changes, technological revolutions, economic upheavals, and natural disasters. And each time, they have evolved into stronger, more responsive institutions serving the needs of our people. Artificial intelligence will be no different. It will challenge us. It will require new skills. It will compel us to rethink old models, but it will also create opportunities to expand access to information, strengthen public engagement, improve efficiency, and amplify Caribbean voices in ways previously unimaginable. The responsibility before us, therefore, is not to fear change. It is to shape it, to ensure that the technological advancement serves humanity, to ensure that innovation strengthens democracy, and to ensure that the Caribbean is an active and influential participant in shaping how emerging technologies are developed, governed, and applied. That spirit of engagement, opportunism, optimism, and responsibility will guide Guyana as the host country. Over the coming weeks, we look forward to working closely with the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, regional media houses, journalists, broadcasters, digital innovators, and all stakeholders to ensure a successful assembly and media awards program. We are ready, we are excited, and we are committed to creating an environment that encourages meaningful dialogue, practical cooperation, and lasting partnerships. In August, Guyana will welcome the region not only to our conference or to the CBU's annual General Assembly, but to a conversation about our collective future. A future that will undoubtedly be shaped by technology, but more importantly, a future that must continue to be shaped by our values, our creativity, our courage, and our shared Caribbean identity. I thank you, and we do sincerely look forward to welcoming all of our Caribbean colleagues to Guyana in August. And therefore, with these few words, I would like to say that our Guyana, our beautiful Guyana, is here for the rest of the Caribbean. May God continually bless all of us, and looking forward to the 57th AGA of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Kwame McCoy, for those inspiring words in your feature address. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we present the official launch video, Welcome to Guyana. Across the Caribbean, we are all connected by television, radio, digital media, and now artificial intelligence. Every day, Caribbean media informs, shapes, and inspires the conversations that matter most. This August, the region's broadcasters, innovators, and media leaders gather to define what comes next. Welcome to the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 57th Annual General Assembly, Caribbean Media and AI. Join thought leaders, broadcasters, journalists, content creators, and technology experts as we examine the next chapter of Caribbean media and celebrate excellence at the CBU Media Awards Gala, honoring the region's best in broadcasting and journalism. August 17 to 19, 2026, Georgetown, Guyana. One region, one industry, one future. Registration is open. The Caribbean's media future is built together at the CBU.
Guyana! Come to Guyana, where culture is lived, heritage is proud, and nature is wild and breathtaking. Feel our unmatched hospitality in the world's fastest growing economy.
Thank you so much. as we come to the close of today's media launch, we now invite the vote of thanks. Please welcome Mr. Niaz Suban, CBU Country Director for Guyana, Chief Executive Officer of NCN, and co-chair of the Local Organizing Committee, Mr. Suban.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Tarlin. It is my simple duty to say thanks, and I have to say thanks to quite a few people and organizations as Guyana prepare to host this very important CBU's conference in August. Allow me first to thank the Honorable Minister, Kwame McCoy, Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for Public Affairs and Information, for sparing time off from his very busy schedule to be here and to deliver the feature address. To the President of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, my friend and brother Anthony Green, we thank you for your very inspiring words as well and the charge that you would have given us. To the hardworking Secretary General of the CBU, Sonia Gill, and we fondly refer to her as Field Marshal Gill, I want to thank you very much for the detailed explanation you provided with regards to the awards. To the sponsors of the CBU AGA 2026 and their representatives, Ms. Priya Hira Singh, who joined us in person, Program Manager of UNICEF Office for Guyana and Suriname, Dr. Ronin Francis, Executive Director, Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management, Ms. Kelly Magnus, Executive Director, Caribbean Culture Fund, Mr. Simon Springett, Resident Coordinator, UNST Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Mr. Giuliano Hela, Sales Director of EU Telsat, Media for Latin America and the Caribbean, the UN Sub-Regional Team for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Sagicor, Massey Limited, the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, Advanced Television Systems Committee, ATSC, the Nature Conservancy Caribbean Division, and all partners associated with this year's award and assembly. I'd like to thank the Chairman of the Board of Directors of NCN, Ms. Raymond Cummins, for sparing some time to be here with us this morning, and the other directors who would have joined us here this morning as well. Members of the CBU from Guyana, the Guyana National Broadcasting Authority, and the Newsroom Inc., and representatives would have joined us here this morning. We thank you very much for being part of the launch ceremony. To the managers and staff of the National Communications Network, thank you for your hard work, especially the NCN organizing team for this particular launch that was led by our Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Michelle Abraham Ali, who unfortunately could not have been here this morning, and the others in that team, including William, Pramika, Joanna, Alan, Victor, Simone, Sean, Lee, Devon, and so many others. Thank you very much. And to the guys of our technical team, not forgetting Capel. To Joel Ford out of Barbados, who worked with our team for this launch and the many interactions late into the night. Thank you very much, Joel, and your team. Our talented Guyanese artist, Nikita, beautiful song and very apt for the occasion. Special invitees, members of the media, and to our host, and I think she did a wonderful job. Tarlin, I want you to give her a round of applause for the wonderful job that she would have done. Our gratitude to each and every one of you for your dedicated and sustained efforts to realize this launch. We look forward for your continued support as we work towards Guyana's hosting the CBU's 57th AGA, scheduled for August 17th to the 19th, 2026. After my speech, Carlin may have some housekeeping, but we have some photo opportunities and some refreshments that will be served in the lobby. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Suban, for those kind remarks. And on behalf of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union, thank you to everyone who joined us today here at NCN Studios, and to all those watching and listening across the region and beyond. Of course, we continue to extend our sincere appreciation to the Government of Guyana, the National Communications Network, our sponsors, partners, CBU member organizations, production teams, members of the media, special guests, and to everyone who contributed to making today possible. We now look forward to welcoming the Caribbean media community to Guyana for the 57th Annual General Assembly and the 37th CBU Media Awards. Thank you once again for joining us and have a wonderful rest of your day.